Morning, everybody. Welcome back to Ready. And today, we run our little morning walk here with the kiddos, and the doggos are way out there somewhere. But yeah, today we're gonna do a little tutorial on how to tie stuff down in your truck using a trucker's hitch, which is probably like I use that setup of knots more than anything else. We tried to do this yesterday, and then this happened. The rest of it underneath, and then hold it back like that. What is that? What is that? Oh my god. So that was cool. Yeah. Anyway, that's part of parenting. You know, people, when you talk to people about parenting, they don't warn you about the poop. There's a lot. That's all right. But yeah, so enjoy this second attempt at teaching you guys how to do the trucker's hitch. All right. So we're here at the truck, and we've got our 3/8 inch double braided nylon line. I like to use 3/8 because it's a good working diameter of rope. You can still, like, it's not so thick that it doesn't hold knots very well, but it's not so thin that it can't handle a lot of weight. It's a good middle ground. So 3/8 inch, and then double braided nylon, just because I like it more than polypropylene. I think double braided nylon holds up better. It's got more like elasticity to it. It's just a kind of an all around better rope. So having some 3/8 inch double braid in your truck is kind of a good idea. All right. So when you're tying stuff down in the truck, I like to use what's called a trucker's hitch, which is, it's sort of a combination of, 3 or 4 different knots depending on what you're doing. So you start out with a bowline. Now, the bowline is good for lots of stuff, but it's because what you do is just putting an eye in the end of the line in a way that you can always untie after all, but it's not going to slide down either. So it's probably the most, if you don't know how to tie any knots, knot number 1, learn the bowline. Okay, so start out here. So the bowline, here, focus down here, Sadie. You start with your, okay, also, this end of the line that you're doing all the movements with is called the working end, and the rest of it is called the standing end. So, yeah, just right here, Sadie. Make sure you can see my hands, but don't get too close, okay? All right, so we're gonna start with an overhand loop, and what that means is your working end is passing over the top of your standing end, which is going at the bottom. All right, so then, now you got your loop made, take your working end, and you come up through the bottom, to the right, around the back of the standing end, and then back down alongside where you came up before, like that. That's a bowline. That's like I said, it's the most useful knot you'll ever come across. So learn that one. So that's a bowline. And what you don't want to do either, something to watch out for, when you come up out of this hole here, because if you're left-handed, you might end up doing this the other way. But if you go to the outside, or the left in this case, and then you come back around and go in, now your tail is inside your loop, which while the structural integrity of the knot is still there, it'll still work. You don't want this because it's going to get tangled and stuff. You got other ropes or things running through here. That's not what you want. All right. So we're going to do that one more time. So you got an overhand loop. Take your working end, come up through the bottom, to the right, around the back of the standing end, and then back down in along the side there. Bam. Bowline. You start out with about 1 foot to 18 inches of line here. You want a big enough loop that, because in my case, I'm going to go over here. See, I'm going to go through this anchor, and then around the top and around the bottom, like that. So that's not going anywhere. Okay. So when you're doing the trucker's hitch, you have one anchored end, and then you have what's called a running anchor, which is where the line is going to pass through a fixed point but be able to run back and forth. So we're going to go across the truck here. We're going to go that. So that's our running anchor. All right, come back over here to the middle, Sadie. Now this is where, like, imagine your load is like tied down under here. Sadie, make sure you're looking at me through there. All right. Now there's 2 ways to do the middle knot here. There's sort of the cheater way, which it'll work, and depending on what you're doing, might be what you want to do here. So all you do is this is the cheater way, you just make an overhand loop and a slip knot, like that. Now the trick with this, when you make this knot, my anchored end is over there. You don't have to point over there, so just look at me. So my anchored end is over there. So I'm pulling away from the anchor and it's getting tighter. If you do this backwards, if you get your loop wrong, let's see here. If you go like this, that's wrong, because if I pull away from my anchor, the knot sucks down. That's not what you want. You want to do it so that you're using your working end has to come through the middle of your loop that you made, and you're pulling away from your anchor point. Now this works. It's quick and dirty. It'll get the job done, but I don't like doing it this way because if you hang a couple 100 pounds of weight on this or something, this knot will suck down so tight that you're never going to get it untied. Because the only reason to do this is because it's sort of convenient when you go to untie it, you can just pull that out. Dog. Quit scratching. All right. So you don't want to do it this way. I mean, you can, but I don't like to, because when you tie these truckers hitches, the loop never ends up in the same spot twice, because if you're tying down like a bag, like a tarp full of leaves or something, there's gonna be a lot of travel coming down, so you want to have your loop be pretty close to your anchor point. But if you're tying down like a refrigerator or something, stop scratching. If you're tying down like a refrigerator or something, the knot's not going to travel very far. It can be closer to your running anchor and it's not going to be a problem. So, but if you get that knot welded in there because you put a bunch of weight on there, now your rope's just ruined. Now you just got extra loops. You're gonna have to cut it out of there or something. So you don't want to mess with that. So instead, what we're gonna do, which I call this not the truck, like this part of the knot, even though this whole assembly is technically a trucker's hitch, this is the part that I call the trucker's hitch knot, where you just pass over your hand 1, 2, 3, right? And you pick up in the middle, go left, pick up, go right, pick up, go left, and then pick up. And that last pickup is your loop. So then you kind of suck this thing down here like so. Excuse me. Now, the reason we do it this way is because you can kind of get in here close on this one, see? So there's actually 2 bites here where you can untie this thing. So even if you put hundreds of pounds of weight on this thing and this line gets really welded together, all you have to do is bend that over. And if like you could whack it with a hammer, you could do, just bang it on whatever whatever surface is close to you. All you gotta do is bend that over and now you've got slack. And you can do it there, or you can do it over here, bend that one down. Now you've got slack and you can just pull this loop out, okay? So I'll show that to you guys one more time. So, all right. Look at my hands. Say 1, 2, 3. Pick left, pick right, pick left. Pick and pull through the middle here. Okay. So that's our trucker's hitch or loop knot. All right, so now the fun stuff starts. So we've got our anchor point over here, we've got our loop right here, and we've got our running anchor over here, right? So now, look over here, Sibby. Now, you take the rest of your rope and you run it through the eye you just made. Like so. Okay? Now, we can pull on this. Say back up a little bit so you can kind of see the whole thing on. Let's get right up there, probably. All right, so now we can pull on this and everything gets pretty tight. So what you're doing here, and then when you get it tight, you can just pinch that. And when you pinch it around the end of your loop, it actually doesn't take that much force to hold all this in place. So get nice and tight, pinch it there. All right, now let's just come over here so you can kind of see this side of my hand. See? Not too close, but all right. Back up a little bit to make sure you can see what we're doing here. So now what you do, this is how you tie this thing together and you hold it all down. So what I like to do is I like to take my thumb and pick up, making sort of a loop or a bunny ear right here. Then you hand the rope, say, look what we're doing here. Hand the rope underneath and then hand it back to yourself and pull it through that bunny ear you just made. Like that. Can you see that good, Sadie? On the camera? Okay, try that one more time. So you've got your tension, pinch, loop, scoop it under and hand it to yourself. Bam, like that. Now that is gonna hold all this tension for you. Now, technically that's technically that's done. That's a trucker's hitch. But what I like to do is this is called a half hitch, which is where you make a loop like that, but then you continue to turn it one more half turn like that, and you stuff your loop through. And what that does is now I can pull on this and it doesn't pull my loop out, but this doesn't get like any tighter, so whenever you get to where you're going, you just pull that loop off, and now you're free. So we're gonna do it one more time here, this, and then you just hand it to yourself, tie it off, and then you come over here. Like, I like to grab with my hand, over with the right, reach through and grab. Bam. All right. Left hand, over, reach through, grab. Bam, half hitches. All right. So then, what I like to do, so this is done. This isn't going anywhere. This is nice and tight. This isn't gonna, like going down the road, that's not gonna come off of there. Now what I also like to do, because I have, let's say you have a few feet of rope left over, I like to make some nice coils. Like that. Then you reach through your coils, grab this, hand it over, so you're hanging it on there like that, then reach through your loop, grab your coils, and pull it through, like that. So now you've got this nice collected thing of rope. It's not gonna go flapping in the wind and flying off the back of your truck and annoying all the drivers around. So that's technically, up here, Sadie? Make sure you can see everything. So that's a trucker's hitch. That's one time, multiplying force. So basically what that means is, so right here, Sadie. No, right here, Sadie. So if I just grabbed this and pulled on it over here, like this, no, if I just pull on this, let's say I put 10 pounds of pressure here, that's 10 pounds of pressure on my anchor. But if I run around a running anchor and I put it through a loop, we've doubled up our pressure. So now 10 pounds on this end is 20 pounds on this side. So you're just doubling up your ability to create force. So what we're gonna do now is get a little bit complicated. So we're gonna untie this here. What we're gonna do here is I'm actually gonna back this. I'm gonna take this knot out and back it up because I need more room. Like I said, even though I got this pretty tight, it comes out real easy. Like that, pull your loop, bam. All right, we're gonna come back over here. I'm gonna retie that knot really close to my anchor point. So 1, 2, 3, pick left, pick right, pick left. Got my loop. Going around our anchor already. Take the rest of our rope here, hand it through. So now I can see, okay, so the top line here, not the, so we're gonna tie another one of these knots over here, but you wanna do it on the same line that you're dealing with here, because if you tie it down here, it's not the right side. So you wanna be tying it on the line that's running through your eye. So we're gonna come back over here as far as we can, and then tie that knot again. So 1, 2, 3, pick left, pick right, pick left. That. Then we're gonna pass through that loop again. So now you see we're starting to create like a shoelace effect. So we're going from anchor, eye, running loop, or running anchor, through our loop, through another loop. Now I can get this really tight because now 10 pounds here is 20 pounds here is 40 pounds here. So now we're able to get this thing without knocking my coffee over. Even there's a ton of weight here, pinch it off with your hand, fold that loop in there, that's enough. Bam. Lay down. That's enough. Lay down. And that is the joy of having dogs around when you're trying to film stuff. So, anyway. now we've ran our rope through here. So now when I suck this down, now, even though it can actually be better, the more in line with it you get, the better it is. Okay, so now pinch that off, tie our stop knot, which is where we make a bunny ear with your thumb, and then hand that underneath and then pull that through like so. Now that's nice and tight. Then we throw our couple of half hitches on there like that. Then we make our coils. And then we reach through our coils, grab our loop, coils over, reach through the loop, grab your coils, pull that through. Bam. So now we've got a doubled up trucker's hitch ready to hit the road. And this is like, it's pretty tight. So we've got, even though I put 10 pounds of pressure here, I go 10, 20, 40. That's how this works. So yeah, that's how you, up here, Sadie? That's how you tie the trucker's hitch. And that's how, you know, that's my favorite kind of knot combination, because I've used the same combination of knots like pull fence posts out of the ground or whatever. Like you can just create a ton of force by going, you know, back and forth as many times as you've got room for in your line. So yeah, that's how you tie the trucker's hitch. Hope you guys liked it. All right, well that's it for the trucker's hitch tutorial. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a like, give it a share, follow the Instagram page, listen to the podcast, subscribe to that, press all the helpful buttons. We appreciate it. It's the camera crew. Hi. And we'll see you guys next time.